Since Alaska's building of the Trans-Alaska Pipeline System in 1974 to 1977, Alaska's economy has grown on a foundation of petroleum oil from deep beneath the permafrost of Alaska's North Slope. And ever since the oil began to flow, Alaska's fortunes have risen and fallen with the price of oil. In the 80s, a huge drop in oil prices led to an economic recession that impacted everyone in Alaska, as property values decreased dramatically and unemployment increased. Alaska began to realize that their financial situation was controlled by factors largely beyond their control. Even as Alaska's oil fortunes rise, the wise will remember, what goes up must come down. During Sarah Palin's time as governor, in November of 2007, Alaska legislators passed a new oil tax legislation referred to as ACES, or Alaska's Clear and Equitable Share. Even though oil tax legislation can be very complex, we're going to give you the basics. ACES increased the tax rate on oil companies, which meant that Alaska could get more money for its oil. So even with the declining oil production, Alaska's revenues from oil went up. Under Governor Sean Parnell, who was in office from 2009 to 2014, oil production continued to decline. In fact, oil production declined so much that there were concerns about the ability of oil to continue flowing through the Trans-Alaska Pipeline. As the temperature of the oil cools, it becomes less liquid and more solid. Soon the Parnell administration tried to repeal ACES and pass a new tax law that was supposed to encourage more oil development in Alaska. SB 21 became that legislation. The Alaska legislature fought over the issue of oil taxes for years. In 2013, SB 21, also known as MAP A, finally passed. Ironically, world oil prices collapsed and Alaska's economic outlook changed dramatically, almost overnight. Surpluses turned to deficits while production remained flat. Alaska's economy was again feeling the effect of the roller coaster ride of world oil prices. Alaska's tax policy remains the state's most important and controversial tool for generating the money needed to fund state government. As we have seen before, as oil prices rise, so does the interest in developing Alaska's oil resources. As oil prices fall or remain low, as they are now, investment in Alaskan oil declines. With less oil coming out of the ground and low oil prices forecast to continue into the foreseeable future, we Alaskans face very real and very tough choices. Alaskans must now look to the future and figure out how to spend less money and generate more money in order to balance our books.
Well, the first step is we need to educate the public. We've been living off of taxes from the oil companies and oil taxes of all kinds since 1977. Most people in Alaska right now, I don't think fully understand how dependent we are on oil taxes. Well, you hear the word panic and crisis and deficit bandied about as though we are about to go broke. We are not. The state of Alaska has savings in excess of $60 billion. I suppose everybody knows that $1 billion is 1,000 millions. We have over $60 billion in savings today. Well, Alec, I think we ought to listen to what some of our leaders have to say. For example, the governor of Alaska has proposed a plan, and some of our leading economists and professors at the University of Alaska have ideas. Also, the political leaders in our legislature have ideas. But I think some of the best ideas are coming from within the communities, and that's why I say we should educate the public. We should have panels set up in communities and talk about these issues and ask the members of the communities, how do you solve this problem? So I think we should educate the public on these issues. How much is the deficit? Is there a way to cut our way out of this deficit? If not, then how do we get revenue?
Good idea, Harvey. Actually, last Thursday, December 3rd, the Island Institute and the Sitka Chamber of Commerce organized a meeting between Alaska's Office of Management and Budget Director Pat Pitney and the citizens of Sitka. They met from noon to 2 p.m. at the Shitkaquan Nakahiti House and used building blocks representing different parts of the budget to get the audience to try and balance the books. Alaska's financial challenges aren't going to be solved this semester, so tune in next year and find out more about how Alaska will pay its bills and sustain its future.